Hey, so today I'm going to explain a technique I call superchaining. It's where you use one or more sidechain audio effects at once. So we're going to start off with explaining sidechain compression, but then go on to use sidechain compression and sidechain filtering at the same time, as well as sidechain gating. So what I've done at the start is as vocals, and just give you an example. Have a listen. So if we look at infection, actually down here. Here we go, sidechain compression. So sidechain compression is when you basically take one sound takes sound away from another sound. In its most simplest terms, that's what it does. So over here you can see the compressor is linked to sidechain and the ratio is down low. I'm not going to go into a good explanation of sidechain compression. That's not what this tutorial is about, but that's one of the effects that's happening. The next effect is this one, partly because you can find heaps of tutorials on sidechain compression. That's nothing special. I think this is something that's a bit more unique. Sidechain auto filters. So if we listen, if you look over here, most people probably don't know that this auto filter has a sidechain. If you unfold it there, you can clip the sidechain, and then of course, just like any other sidechain function, you go audio from, sidechain here, and then whether you want it pre or post effects. You can then adjust the gain and the dry and wet on the sidechain. So here what I've got is the sidechain as a low pass filter all the way up, but the envelope, which is going to get controlled by the sidechain, starts low and then will open up. So when the sidechain hits, like for the moment, it's getting done by the bass drum. So when the bass drum hits, the envelope, the filter comes down, and then it will open back up across the release time here. So you'll be able to hear that. One of the best examples, what you just heard before was one of the examples, but here's a really extreme example. You'll definitely be able to hear this in the bass. So you can hear when the bass drum hits, the filter's coming down and it's coming back up. So that's what's sculpting the bass sound. If we turn that off, without that, there's still a little bit of envelope following on the bass, but not quite as extreme. So you can see there that that helps to really craft that bass sound. Have another listen. So effectively what's happening is this. If we turn off the sidechain, so effectively that filter's coming down and then going back up. The last one I wanted to show you was sidechain gating. So what you can do is get one instrument to play. So in this instance I've got drum hits, and they are triggering certain instruments to be allowed through. So for example, when the drum hits its cymbals, the keyboard is at time. So ideas. So the drummer might be playing a certain rhythmic hit and you want the keyboard to follow that. You can put a sidechain gate on that and it will follow the rhythm. So I'm going to skip straight to the bit where we've got our sidechain gating going on and give you an example of what it sounds like. So right there, you can hear the drums and there's guitar and there's synth coming through at the same time. If we break that down, what's triggering it are this track here, kit tracks, because those drum hits, and they are triggering a bunch of other things. If we listen over here, I think it's all in the A gate. Yes. So this is our thing. There's the gate, there's the sidechain. So all those instruments are functioning together as one in the same rhythm because the drums are timing them together. Now if I turn that gate off, they're all a bit messy. It's just a bit more messy because they're doing all of them at once. Restore that automatically. It ties them in together rhythmically. So the way to set that up, as with all of the side chaining things, you got to unfold the gate like that, click sidechain, and choose what it's sidechaining to. So in this case, I was sidechaining to the drums. So that's kit tracks, blah blah blah. Don't usually have to change this unless you're having problems. And if you want more gain or less gain out of it, tweak with them. The dry and wet, if you want some of the original signal coming through, I'd put it on dry wet. If you don't want it, if you want just the affected sound, just leave it on 100% wet. You can then EQ it a little bit, and then you'll need to play with your threshold over here to get the right sound. Because if the threshold's at the wrong spot, it won't work. So let's see, the threshold's too low. So the C is staying for too long. So you want somewhere where you can see the peaks and troughs are actively moving. If we have it too high, nothing's happening. And that's too short. So you just play with the threshold there, and you'll be able to find a spot where it's coming through right. You can also adjust the tap, hold, and release times, and the floor now goes to 9. So play with them. That gives you a floor. So good options to play with. Basically, click them. Every situation is going to be different. So yeah, you'll just need to find where it is. But that's what those things do. Cool. So I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial on superchaining. Examples of this can be found in the 2 tunes I've previewed, Bienvenido and Bitches Love Triangle. They're up on my SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/lostbeat, or on Facebook, facebook.com/lostbeat. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me on Facebook. Enjoy!